This program is proudly brought to you by the VAFA Live Official app. With live scores, team stats, player stats and much, much more. Everything you need for the VAFA in the palm of your hand. Download it from the App Store or Google Play now.
Hello viewers, Dom here from Complete Sports Management at Melbourne University Oval. We have witnessed a very fierce top four battle between Uni Blues and Old Brighton, to which the Blues were victorious by 8 points. It's a really entertaining contest. And with the Victoria's coach Heath Jamieson. Heath, as a coach watching on, that was quite an intense game to watch. It was such a tight arm wrestle the entire match. You never really got much. I think the biggest lead you had was 13 points. So it was always a very close match. How did you see it as a coach, and how proud are you of the boys able to grind out such a big win today against Old Brighton?
Yeah, look, I'm happy with the result. I think, the ground conditions weren't great, as you would have seen. Brighton play a real contested style of game, which they did to a T. So I'm happy for our side to grind out a win like that, because sometimes this time of the year, if you get comfortable where you are on the ladder, you have a side come and serve up what Brighton served up today, you can let games like that go. So to be in an arm wrestle like we had today and still get the points, really happy. And it's a really good game for us moving into the finals, to get bashed around like that. A real tough, hard contested game. We know that's how it's going to be going forward. So I'm wrapped.
Yeah. In the first half, Joseph McCullough actually played forward of the ball, even though he's played midfield pretty much the entire season. And then the second half, he decided to throw him in the middle. What was the thinking in putting him forward for the first half and then eventually just throwing him in the middle once the game wore on?
Oh, there's no real theories behind it. It's just that we bat really deep.
Yeah.
We've got a plethora of midfielders there that we can throw in. So, what Joe's turn this week to play a bit forward. I think last week he played forward for us, and in the second quarter he probably turned the game a little bit. So, there's no theory there. We just bat really deep, and everyone has to have a go at it. And I think that's going to be one of our strengths in the back end of the year, is that what's our side look like? How are we going to line up? We've even had times where we've played Capra as a ruckman and Cordy at full forward, the midfield depth's so big. So we've got a few things up our sleeve there, and it makes us a little bit unpredictable to the opposition.
Yeah, and you touched on the ground not being the best conditions. The day itself was lovely. You couldn't have had better conditions in terms of weather, but the ground wasn't in great condition. Do you think that played a part in your ruck dominance with Ace Cordy, because he was by far probably one of your best players on ground, and he just took advantage of whenever he pushed forward, whenever he took the ruck, he was just clearly, I reckon he read the conditions well, and he was such a huge difference for you. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought he was super. I thought he gave his first use of the ball all day, which was important, because I think around the contests around the ground, I think Brighton were probably beating us. So for Ace to give his first use in the middle of the ground, and he's such a big, imposing figure, and to be honest, we put a little bit of heat on him during the week, because we thought that his ruck work wasn't at the level that we expect him to play at. So it's great to see Ace bounce back today, and it's always good that when you've got players like Ace that are really proud footballer, that if you do actually have a crack at them midweek, they come out and produce that performance. So really happy there.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the result today, and I'll look forward to seeing you against Old Trinity next week.
Thanks, Tom.
I'll throw over to Daniel, who's with Old Brighton.
Thanks, Dom. I'm here with Greg, the coach of Old Brighton. Your boys fought really hard today, just couldn't come away with the result in the end. Talk me through your thoughts on that game as a whole.
Yeah, look, it was a really good contest. Obviously, they're a really good side. They're on top of the ladder, and I thought our players contributed really well today. Their effort was really good. We had a couple of chances to get in front and hold them off a little bit, but credit to them. We'd fight back and kick a goal, and then they'd get an easy one either through a centre bounce or a stoppage that then put their noses in front again. But I thought it was a good contest, and I'm really pleased with the way our boys contributed today.
I thought some of your sort of lesser players, I guess, stood up today. The likes of Marty Ho, who's played reserves for a lot of the year. He's now got a month of senior footy under him. Talk to me about his game today. I thought he really stood up in the back line, really put his body on the line a couple of times as well.
Yeah, he did. Look, Marty's a really good story for us. He won the reserves best and fairest last year, and he's been able to play a few senior games this year, and we sort of had to find a spot for him, and by default we found him as a small back when we had a couple of injuries in one game. So he did a good job today. I don't know who kicked all their goals, but it wasn't a huge. I don't think there was many smalls that kicked them. So he's done a really good job. Came in, plays his role, and he, along with Tom Lemets today, I thought the back half also did a good job. He's a bit more experienced, Tommy, but Marty's been really good over the last month for us.
And obviously, moving on from this week, you've got Zavs who've just moved back into top place. How do you again combat playing another top 4 side? And obviously your boys are going to be up for it, but how ready do you think they are for their coming challenge?
Oh, look, mentally they'll be okay. Physically, it's we've had 2 really tough games against St Kevin's on a really heavy ground, and today on a really heavy ground as well. So physically, the toll can start taking its taking its toll on us. Look, I think mentally we'll be okay. We know that we've got to win this week to keep our chances alive, so we'll be up for the fight. And Savs gave us a bit of a smacking last time, so there'll be a few of our players pretty keen to get hold of them this week.
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and commiserations on the close loss today. Thanks for joining me, Greg. That's all from us here at Melbourne Uni Oval, where Uni Blues have defeated Old Brighton by 8 points.
This has been another Complete Sports Management production.